morning. I want to talk about trust issues for a second because I don't know. This was just on my mind. I think I seen something. I want to talk about trust issues when it comes to like not trusting people of the same sex, right? Because of past traumas. Like, there's this whole discourse about like there's girls who don't have other female friends, or there's men who don't have other guy friends, and it's like, yeah, I get it, because I've been betrayed by women back to back to back growing up, right? And when it happens within your own family, it really traumatizes you in a way to where you won't want to be friends with women again. Like, I have had certain people in my life who have tried to sleep with any guy who approached me. Like, it could be a crackhead next to me, and they would do it. And when that's the overwhelming majority, including your egg donor, who do that to you, it will traumatize you to a way where you not want to be around women. Like, you just won't. And I've seen guys go through this too. Like, I know a guy personally who every time he had a girl or he was into a girl, his friends would like gun for her. Like, it's some type of competition. They're laughing about it. I'm like, that's not funny. Like, that's disgusting. He is trying to pursue somebody, and not everybody wants to play this stupid ass game with y'all. And I just, that has been such a common theme in my life, to where I just, like, I have friends that I have women that I'm cool with and all that, but I don't too much keep a lot of girlfriends, because I just, no, I don't have time for it, because I know how a lot of women are, and I just be like, nope, I'm good. The ones that I keep around, they aren't like that. And they would never do something as hideous as trying to sleep with someone's man, trying to act like, I don't know, like it's like some secret competition. I would never want to be in the second I get an inkling, and I'm really good at detecting it because of the way I grew up, I cut them off. I cut them off because it's like, I'm not competing with you. And I don't think friendly competition is cute unless we're playing a damn game. Are we badminton? Are we playing tennis? No, then why are we competing? That is disgusting to me. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that with my friends. You have to compete enough in the world, in the job market, if you have a job, in school, other places. I don't want to compete with my friends. Like, can that be the one place where, like, we don't have this going on? Some people are into it. By all means, do it. But a lot of people, they have no boundaries. Like, they have no morals. I have seen women, and I think that, like, a lot of this stuff, it's stuff I've seen happen to other people. And I remember, now that I'm on this subject, I remember this one time when I was in like grade school. I was really young, but I remember this girl tried to sleep with another person's boyfriend. Mind you, they were doing stuff very young. I was not, okay? And I was just like, whoa. Anyway, and I wouldn't be friends with her after that. And she's like, why aren't you my friend? And this carried on into like adulthood, because she tried to like make me public enemy number one. I didn't care, but she tried, and she tried to sleep with her friend, her best friend, and her sister's boyfriend, and I cut her off completely. And she's like, why would you cut me off? And I was like, you tried to sleep with your best friend and your sister's boyfriends. And she's like, but I wasn't gonna do it to you. And I was like, I'm not one of those people who'd be like, oh, it would never happen to me. I'm one of those people, like, if you would do it to them, you would definitely do it to me, because you don't even know me. I'm new here. So if you would do it to them, you would do it to me. That's just how I am. I was so baffled by the idea that, like, everyone was acting like that shit was okay. Like, for you to do that, and for you to be so young doing it at that. So anyway, that girl still hates me to this day, and I still hate her. I don't care. I don't even think about her. I can't say I hate her. I don't think about her. But she just be like, oh, she's uppity. Oh, wow. If you think me not wanting to be around someone who would do that was uppity when we were children, I'm dang sure uppity now, because I'm not going to be around someone who does something like that. And I've met people who, like, oh my goodness, like, I know this one girl, every time her sister would get a partner or a guy would show interest, she would throw herself at them. Like, she would throw herself. I'm sorry, I just seen a red bird anyway, it was just so crazy to me. Like, it was so crazy. Like, that is your sister. blood relation. Same mama, same daddy. I don't care if you're half siblings. That I don't believe in half siblings. We're siblings or we're not, right? But y'all will sit there and do that to your own flesh and blood and think that someone else is gonna trust you. Once I see you do that to your own, you can't help who you fall in love with, y'all, and they don't last but 6 months. So you're willing to cross your own blood family over a relationship? It's disgusting. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And it's crazy to me because those exact people will expect loyalty from other people. Like, I remember this one woman, when I was younger, a bunch of grown men and women would try their hand at me. They'll just stare me down. And their wives would get so mad at me. And I'd be like, this is just weird. Why don't you stop dating pedos? You know what I mean? And this woman was like, oh no, you should never sleep with a married man because that's just wrong. And she kept saying it to me. And I've always had a stigma. I was like, ain't that how you got your husband? And she was like, oh no, but I learned my lesson. I was like, what, 2 years ago? And she couldn't say nothing. All these grown women, just stupid as hell, sitting around her like, yeah, talking to me. And I'm like, y'all are so fucking dumb. Because I don't want any of y'all's men, like any of them. Because I'm a child, okay? But she does. And she was sleeping with their men. And I aired it out because I never cared. Don't play with me like that. Don't try to put me in the same situation. I'm not you. I will tell somebody I'm not you so quick. Don't try to project with me. Because I will hurt your feelings and expose you in front of everyone. You're the one sleeping with these people's husbands. And the thing was, people were so stupid. They just want a reason to hate me so bad back then. That they would ignore what that bitch was doing to still hate me. That happened to me another time too, like this on the top of my head, where people would, so one of those girls, I think it was the girl, no, it was that girl who I just said was sleeping with her sisters and her best friend's men, right? So when she tried to they tried to start a fight with me, and I just started cussing them out. I was like, I don't care to be around either one of you. Like, get away from me. Like, you know how that goes. Why are you even talking to me? I was new, so they thought they were going to try me. No, you're not. So anyway, I was like, you're so stupid because you have an issue with me, but she's sleeping with your boyfriend. And she was shocked. She was like, oh, I knew it. And then her boyfriend was like, that's not your business. I was like, bitch, and none of what I'm doing is their business, but yet they're in my face. So why is that? Anyway, so they started, she's like, I knew it. She's like, shut up. Let's talk about her right now. Let's talk about her because they were trying to bank me. And then I ended up fighting both of them and winning. But oh my God, she stopped. Ignored it. Like, she knew that this girl had just slept with her boyfriend and was talking to her boyfriend behind her back. But they just had to have a dig at me because I was the only one. I feel like some people, and I've talked to like other people about this, is some people will hate the person who's doing right more than the person who's doing wrong, because the person who's doing right, quote unquote, thinks they're better because they make them feel ashamed. Is it that I think I'm better, or do you feel ashamed? You feel ashamed, and that's not my fucking problem. Feel ashamed. I don't care. Because I grew up super Christian, so I wasn't doing none of that, and they made me a target because of it. And I'm just like, I think back on that stuff, and I'm just like, to this day, because I was watching a live yesterday when they were talking about a lot of women, they don't want female friendships. And I'm like, when you grow up seeing the dynamics, it's not that I don't want female friendships or women friendships, because I'm a girl's girl. All right, like, I love men, but I'm a girl's girl because, like, I'm a girly girl. But when you see just how vicious these women can be, and how catty and how backstabbing, and I know this goes for men too, but y'all have to speak about that. But it just makes you not want to be around people. Like, it really makes you look at women. I've had women who will try to talk to somebody who was not even I'm not even dating, just because they were in my vicinity. Like, I remember walking through the mall with someone who I was cool with, and people thought we were dating, and this girl was behind me like, oh yeah, I need me a man. She was describing him and saying, oh, I need me a man like that. And I'm like, bitch, if this was my man and you do that, I would just cut him off. Because that is so disgusting. Like, that is so, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. They don't see anything wrong with it. And then they get with these men sometimes, and they'll be mad at me because those men still want me, and I'm just like, I didn't even want him, but yet you felt the need to try to interfere with someone's, like, I've had this happen even with guys who I have let court me or stuff like that. I've had women try their hand, and I just like, that shit made me just disgusted at people. Like, when you're out with somebody, and I've been out with my own brothers, some of my brothers, I've said this before, we don't really look alike because we got like different moms or something, or different dads, and I've had women try to talk to them. I've had someone do this to my own father, and my dad was like, that's my daughter, with an attitude, because he knew, like, and my dad's like not even like a angry person unless, like, you know, he's tried, but like, he was just like, that's my daughter. And this bitch had the audacity, I was literally just telling the story, she had the audacity to be like, this was at Subway in Brooklyn, was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, who the fuck are you to lie to? Who are you to lie to, bitch? Because you're really not that important. And then she want to be all offended, and all her, like, family members were laughing. I don't care. That also happened to me. If you ever been to, like, the little Beltway motel restaurant, me and my dad used to go there all the time because my dad works on the road, right? And when he would come visit me when I was younger, we would go there to that little restaurant because they had, like, semi-soul food. You know what I mean? You could get grits. You can't get much. All right, it's Maryland. You know, it's not Southern Maryland. It's near Baltimore. So anyway, we would go to that little motel and go to the breakfast thing because we can get grits. And this dumbass bitch, oh my God, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry for cussing, but it makes me so mad when I think about this. She would sit there. We ordering food. Mind you, I'm like max 14 at the time. So I'm like super excited because I'm getting ready to get grits. I haven't seen my dad in a while because he's been on the road for a while. She comes and, like, does this weird, like, rubbing my dad's shoulder and, like, oh, yeah, because, like, what do you want? You're so handsome. And my dad looks at her and was like, oh, yeah, this is my daughter. This is my daughter. Yeah. He got mad. And the thing is, my dad never gets mad. Like, my dad laughs a lot of stuff off, right? Because, you know, he's a boomer. He's like, I'm tired, okay? I've been to Vietnam era. He was a Vietnam era vet. He's tired, okay? My dad be chilling, okay? And that even made him so uncomfortable. And I've been dealing with that since I was like a little girl. Women trying to compete with me. I'm like, you're trying to compete with me for my father's attention? It must suck to be you. Like, you're miserable. Like, something is mentally fucking wrong with you to do something like that. And to have my dad, I swear if you guys knew my dad's character, you would be like, that is so, like, he's not that kind of person. Like, he'll joke with anybody about anything. Like, he'll joke about, you know what I mean? And it's like, it made him uncomfortable. And I've been in situations with my older brothers where they've had to check people. Like, you're trying to compete with me. You're trying to compete with my sister over me. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, is something wrong with you mentally? Again, please, if you're my older brothers or my dad watching this, I am sorry for cussing. But it makes me so mad when I think about it. And the people will be like, oh, girls who don't deal with women, something's wrong with them. Like, no, something is wrong with a lot of these women out here. And I still do have, like, women who I am close with and I'm cool with and, like, love them to death because they're not like this. But when you go through life seeing just how many women are like this and how many men are like this to other men, you'll sit there and just be like, man, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And I have a very low tolerance for competition. Like, once you show me that that's who you are, I don't want that in my friendships. I can deal with that in the real world. I don't want to deal with that in my friendships. Like, my friendships need to be a chill space. Like, we're here to have fun. I'm not doing this with you. And they'll get mad because they're not winning this made-up competition they've made in their head. And it's just like, I didn't even know we were competing. What are you doing? Like, they'll get mad that you're not playing along. Is like the real thing. Like, that you're not playing along to their, like, delusional competition. And it's just so insufferable. It's so insufferable. Like, I feel like a lot of people have, like, and I'm not saying it's wrong to be male-centered. Like, whatever. I don't care if you are, if you aren't. What I'm saying is, if you are and someone's not, leave them the heck alone. Like, they don't care. Why are you forcing it? Why are you forcing it? Because that just makes no sense to me. And I see this happen to men too, and I can really go into that. Like, I've seen this happen to men so often, and I just be sitting back like, dang. I've been in rooms where it's like, you walk in, you speak to a guy, like, I know this guy, and his friend will start down talking to him immediately, and you can see it makes him uncomfortable. Some people try to lie and be like, oh yeah, we're just homies, that's just how it is. And I'm like, you look like you're about to cry, because he's throwing jabs at you left and right. Stop it, just stop. Like, I don't get this. I don't get why this is so normalized. I feel like people don't check it in childhood, and it just spirals into this, like, there are grown women doing this to even little girls. I swear, I'm so afraid to have a daughter, because I promise you I will hurt someone's feelings so quick. So quick. My daughter's not going to be out of my sight. Or a son. Because I know what happens to boys too. But I was just thinking about, like, what happened to me. My kids aren't going to be on my sight if I have children, because no. Absolutely not. You're not about to be competing with my children because something's mentally wrong with you and you have arrested development and you're stuck being an adolescent and you think that you're supposed to parade around here like a little girl, and when a little girl comes around getting attention, it makes you uncomfortable and jealous. That's sick in the head. It's actually, I remember saying this on TikTok and maybe like 4 years ago, and I was like, it feels weird to say that though, right? Like 2020, I remember saying something like, that's disgusting and so bizarre to be jealous of a child. And this girl tried to argue me down, like, it's not weird. I was like, yes it is. Like, I'm not budging on that statement or that stance. It is freaking weird to be jealous of a child, and I'm not gonna budge on that, because I've never looked at a child like, oh my god, I'm so jealous of this child just getting all this child attention. I want attention. How dare this child get it? I've never felt that way. If anything, I felt like, oh my god, I need to protect this child, because I know what a lot of attention does to you as a child. You never know who has good intentions and who doesn't. So I've never felt the need, like, what? Half the time, I'm not trying to be mean, but if they're not my family, I don't really like being around kids. Kids are loud. Kids are crazy. Shout out to kids, but I don't be wanting to be around kids. Sometimes I be want to go to adult only areas. That's a side note though. I've never felt the need to compete with one though. I remember, and I was talking about this the other day too, is that there was adults who used to come to the basketball court or the playground and try to be in the mix with children. Like, there was always that one creepy adult, and I was the only one who would call it out, obviously, because I just peeped game. I was like, no, you're weird. You don't need to be over here. Why are you talking to us, right? And I think this was before they really cracked down on adults not being at parks and stuff in Baltimore, in Maryland, in that area, because it was always like that. It was always that one grown weirdo or a couple grown weirdos who wanted to hang out with kids, and I will be the only one saying it was weird. And maybe because those people were actively making advances towards me, and people were being like, you should just grow up. So what if they want to talk to you? Age is just a number. I'm like, you motherfuckers are weird. This is just weird. And I could point those people out to this day, and they'll be like, you're a weirdo. I remember you trying to hang out with us as kids, trying to make advances towards us. And, I'm not judging the other ones, the other kids for not realizing how weird it was, because, they were kids. But there is I don't know, it was some adults will say something, but a lot of adults will be like, oh, that's weird, but not call the cops or something. Call the cops. Do something. You know what I mean? Be proactive. Cuss them out. I don't know. Get them away from children. That was just so bizarre to me. But yeah, it's the Peter Pan syndrome, that is real. And I feel a lot of us have dealt with people who have Peter Pan syndrome since we were children, or dealt with other people, other girls or other same-sex people, bothering us. If you're a guy trying to compete with you, or you're a girl trying to compete with you, and people be like, oh, that's just when you're kids. No, it's not. Because I have full-blown adults doing that to me as a kid, and I had that happening when I got older too. And I guess that's just how some people operate. But my thing is, why are you doing it to people who don't? Like, why don't you do that with someone who wants to compete back with you? I'm not gonna lie, I've had certain people who be like, oh, I want you to compete with me. It's fun. I'm like, but it's not fun for me. And they were like, we realized, like, we were just not compatible. And that was fine. Like, I actually have so much respect for that person. I have no ill, like, feelings towards them, because they were honest about, like, oh, I'm a competitive person, I like it. I've been around other people who I've told, like, I'm not competitive with people who are in my close circle, and they'll be like, okay, and then still try to compete with me, and I'm like, I told you I'm not, and they're like, oh, well, I am, and I'm like, okay, well, you're cut off, and they'll look shocked. I told you I'm not competing with people in my close circle. That is a boundary for me. Why is that so hard to grasp? I don't get it. Like, if you want to compete with people, if you want to compete with your friends, go find friends to compete with. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people, and I don't like, I'm not saying not have any at all, but I'm talking about have like these huge friend groups of just girls, because you cannot trust people. Like, people are insane. And I prefer to keep my circle medium to small. I'm very outgoing, and I'll talk to, like, because I know I said, like, I'm an ambivert, right? Like, I stay to myself unless, like, I'm out on the town. I don't know. If you're an ambivert, you get it. But, like, when it comes to close relationships, like close friendships, no, I keep that very small. Because people are competitive. They're jealous. You don't know. Man, half the time you can't even trust your own family. So, it's like, I don't put nothing past nobody anymore. I've seen way too much. And I ain't even lived enough life. I have seen too much, okay? I mean, I'm not even gonna go there. I know people who will sleep with their siblings' person and then sit there and gaslight and act like they didn't do it. And be like, no, I didn't do this. We were just laying there naked together because it was comfortable. I know people who have done that. And I was just like, you know what? That is enough people for me. I was done for a while. I was just like, this is just too much. You can't see that over and over again in different aspects of life and think that, like, people are just going to be so ready to jump into friendships after that. No, it's not realistic. And especially when you're not like that, people will gun for you to try to, like, break you down because they know you won't compete back. So they think that you're, like, an easy mark. But it's like, I don't care about you at all. I'm going to cut you off. And then they get mad about that and call you stuck up. It's like, you can't win with people. So who cares? But yeah, that's just all I have to say about it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all feel like that's why a lot of people don't want to be cool with people, because everyone wants a secret, weird competition? Not even just, and I want to make this clear, it's not even just with you though, right? It's not, the competition is not always just with you. It's with other people too. Like, if I can't bring you around other people without you trying to compete with them, I'm going to get annoyed with that so quick. I'm not one of those people who think it's cute for people to compete over me. Like, I'm a chill person when it comes to my friends. Like, I want to have fun. Let's have fun. If y'all compete on y'all own because y'all got, like, that's y'all friendship, by all means do it. But if you're trying to compete with people in my friend circle who aren't like that, I'm going to get annoyed and I'm going to cut you off. Because it's like you're bringing down the mood of the party every time you're around. And I have people who are very close to me who I love, but I have had to cut them off because they try to compete with everyone. Everyone we brought them around, they would try to compete with them. And it was just sitting there like, girl, what? Like, and guys too. There'll be guys and girls who try to compete with other, like, there'll be girls who try to compete with guys. There'll be guys who try to compete with girls. And I'm just sitting here like, what do you even have to compete with this person over? I don't know. It's just like, again, if you like that, by all means do it. But even sometimes, like, as someone who's, like, the friend of people who compete, sometimes people take that too far because they will literally get mad and ruin everyone's day. And it's like, you are bringing down the mood so much because you're mad because you didn't because, oh my god, okay, so there was this guy we were friends with, right? And he was trying to compete with another guy we were cool with, and he threw a temper tantrum because it didn't work. The girl still wanted that guy, and he was like, so you're really gonna like him? You're like, he like got boisterous and loud, and it's just like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, you have, oh my God. Oh my goodness. It was so obnoxious. It was so just like bizarre, and just like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you mentally unstable? Clearly. But it's just like, I was just sitting there like, this is not real life. Like, you were not causing a scene in front of all these people. Like, it's not funny. Like, it's just embarrassing. It's just annoying, because we're about to get kicked out of this place because you want to cause a scene, because you don't even like her. You just want to compete with him. Like, it's literally just like I just want to compete with this person. They don't even want the girl or the guy that they're competing for. It makes no sense to me. Like, none at all. But anyway, I'm going to end this here. Let me know. Do you think, like, what do you think? Bye. Better recognize when I see you, I really want you. Hit the club for you. Light skin got you new.